Topics in the Parlor. Chapter 20. Demon Groupings. Demons are identified according to their nature. A demon of hate is called hate. Each demon is a specialist. A hate demon does not foster lust. He only promotes hatred. When demons are commanded to name themselves, they will usually name themselves in identity with their nature. Example: rebellion, cursing, indifference, etc. Occasionally, a demon will give a personal name, such as Jim or Shirley. At times, they will give foreign names. This is a deceptive measure to keep the deliverance minister from knowing their true nature. The minister should command the demons to reveal their nature, saying, "What is your nature, demon?" Indwelling demons are seldom found singly. They are together in groups. Such groupings may be referred to as colonies, clans, or families. When one demon is detected or discerned, one should immediately be alerted to look for its companions. A group of demons is banded together for the purpose of controlling a particular area of a person's life. Therefore, there is a very logical pattern of spirits to be found in any particular group. Certain types of spirits are found over and over in the same combinations. However, one must not assume that the combination will always be the same. The possibilities for groupings are unlimited. Within each group, there will be a strong man or ruling spirit. Often during ministry, a ruling spirit will be specifically identified. It is not always necessary that he be identified as a ruling spirit in order to effect the deliverance. Such identification will usually be given for one of two reasons. First, the Holy Spirit may be directing an order of procedure. The deliverance minister will want to be alert to whatever battle plan the Lord may give. There are situations where the Lord will direct that the ruling spirit be dealt with first, and then his companions. At other times, the leading of the Lord will be to drive out the lesser spirits first, and the ruling spirit last. There seems to be no real merit in questioning why the Lord leads one way and then another. A good soldier is trained to follow orders without questioning his commander. At times, he may be given great latitude in choosing his own route of attack, and at other times, his orders are quite specific. The same is true in the battles of spiritual warfare. A second reason why the ruling spirit may be identified is that it is for the benefit of the person receiving deliverance. It can be quite helpful to know which spirit to be on special guard against in the future. Some spirits are especially tied in with habit patterns that must be changed and areas of the carnal man that must be crucified. Subsequent to deliverance, the person will have to fight some battles on his own to maintain his deliverance. It is very helpful to know exactly what one is fighting, and what is flesh, and what is demon spirit. From experience gained through hundreds of deliverance sessions and in dealing with demon groupings, I am persuaded that the ruling spirit is the first spirit to invade a certain area. Because he is the first to gain entrance, he can establish himself as the ruler. He then becomes the key to opening the way for other spirits to enter. When demons are being driven out, it is not uncommon to give a command to the ruling spirit. Come out and bring all of your companions with you, or come out and bring all your roots. If any part of a group is not expelled, the way is left for the group to be let back in. For this reason, the deliverance should be as thorough as possible. More than one spirit of a certain type may be found within a given group. For example, the bitterness colony may contain several demons of resentment. Also, a certain type of demon may be present in more than one group. For example, a demon of anger may be found in the bitterness clan and another anger demon in the perfection clan. In one deliverance, several groups of spirits were cast out. In each group, there was a spirit of depression. It is only by the operation of the supernatural gift of discernment that one can know that all such combinations of spirits have been dealt with. The following list of demon groups represents patterns experienced through actual deliverance sessions. These groupings are only suggestive of what may be encountered. The listing is by no means intended to be exhaustive, nor the groupings to be invariable. An explanation is given some of the groupings listed. This is to offer some insight into the problems caused by particular groups of spirits. Most of the groups are rather self-explanatory. Your authors believe that the information given in this chapter will prove to be of great practical value to those who are moving into deliverance ministry. It will help anyone to better understand how demons set themselves up in groups. Years of study and experience are condensed into a few pages. Common demon groupings. 1. Bitterness, resentment, hatred, unforgiveness, violence, temper, anger, retaliation, murder. 2. Rebellion, self-will, stubbornness, disobedience, anti-submissiveness. 3. Strife, contention, bickering, argument, quarreling, fighting. 4. Control, possessiveness, dominance, witchcraft. 5. Retaliation, destruction, spite, hatred, sadism, hurt, cruelty. 6. Accusation, judging, criticism, fault finding. 7. Rejection, fear of rejection, self rejection. 8. Insecurity, inferiority, self pity, loneliness, timidity, shyness, inadequacy, ineptness. 9. Jealousy, envy, suspicion, distrust, selfishness. 10. Withdrawal, pouting, daydreaming, fantasy, pretension, unreality. 11. Escape, indifference, stoicism, passivity, sleepiness, alcohol, drugs. 12. Passivity, funk, indifference, listlessness, lethargy. 13. Depression, despair, despondency, discouragement, defeatism, dejection, hopelessness, suicide, death, insomnia, morbidity. 14. Heaviness, gloom, burden, disgust. 15. Worry, anxiety, fear, dread, apprehension. 16. Nervousness, tension, headache, nervous habits, restlessness, excitement, insomnia, roving. 17. Sensitiveness, self-awareness, fear of man, fear of disapproval. 18. Persecution, unfairness, fear of judgment. fear of condemnation, fear of accusation, fear of reproof, sensitiveness. 19. Mental illness, insanity, madness, mania, retardation, senility, schizophrenia, paranoia, hallucinations. 20. Schizophrenia. See Chapter 21. 21. Paranoia, jealousy, envy, suspicion, distrust, persecution, fear, confrontation. 22. Confusion, frustration, incoherence, forgetfulness. 23. Doubt, unbelief, skepticism. 24. Indecision, procrastination, compromise, confusion, forgetfulness, indifference. 25. Self deception, self delusion, self seduction, pride. 26. Mind binding, confusion, fear of man, fear of failure, occult spirits, spiritism spirits. 27. Mind idolatry, intellectualism, rationalization, pride, ego. 28. Fears, all kinds, phobias, all kinds, hysteria. 29. Fear of authority, lying, deceit. 30. Pride, ego, vanity, self righteousness, haughtiness, importance, arrogance. 31. Affectation, theatrics, play acting, sophistication, pretension. 32. Covetousness, stealing, kleptomania, material lust, greed, discontent. 33. Perfection, pride, vanity, ego, frustration, criticism, irritability, intolerance, anger. 34. Competition, driving, argument, pride, ego. 35. Impatience, agitation, frustration, intolerance, resentment, criticism. 36. False burden, false responsibility, false compassion. 37. Grief, sorrow, heartache, heartbreak, crying, sadness, cruel. 38. Fatigue, tiredness, weariness, laziness. 39. Infirmity may include any disease or sickness. 40. Death. 41. Inheritance, physical, emotional, mental, curses. 42. Hyperactivity, restlessness, driving, pressure. 43. Cursing, blasphemy, coarse jesting, gossip, criticism, backbiting, mockery, belittling, railing. 44. Addictive and compulsive, nicotine, alcohol, drugs, medications, caffeine, gluttony. 45. Gluttony, nervousness, compulsive eating, resentment, frustration, idleness, self pity, self reward. 46. Self accusation, self hatred, self condemnation. 47. Guilt, condemnation, shame, unworthiness, embarrassment. 48. Sexual impurity, lust, fantasy lust, masturbation, homosexuality, lesbianism, adultery, fornication, incest, harlotry, rape, exposure, frigidity. 49. Cults, Jehovah's Witnesses, Christian Science, Rosicrucianism, Theosophy, Urantia, Sobad, Latihan, Unity, Mormonism, Baha'ism, Unitarianism, lodges, societies, and social agencies using the Bible and God as a basis but omitting the blood atonement of Yahshua Christ. 50. Occult, Ouija board, palmistry, handwriting analysis, automatic handwriting, ESP, hypnotism, horoscope, astrology, levitation, fortune telling, water witching, tarot cards, pendulum, witchcraft, black magic, white magic, conjuration, incantation, charms, fetishes, etc. 51. Religious, ritualism, formalism, legalism, doctrinal obsession, seduction, doctrinal error, fear of God, fear of hell, fear of lost salvation, religiosity, etc. 52. Spiritism, seance, spirit guide, necromancy, etc. 53. False religions, Buddhism, Taoism, Hinduism, Islam, Shintoism, Confucianism, etc. Bitterness. In Hebrews chapter 12 verse 15, a warning is sounded, lest any root of bitterness springing up trouble you, and thereby many be defiled. The root of bitterness is responsible for much trouble. Bitterness harbored in the heart for any length of time will open the door for demon invasion. This is probably the most common opening for demon activity. In the majority of cases, the bitterness is towards someone within the immediate family. Bitterness spirits keep alive hurtful incidents. Things that happened years ago are as fresh and alive in the memory as if they had only happened today. Thus, the person not only copes with current problems, but is ever faced with a backlog of hurts. The spirit of unforgiveness keeps alive every detail of the hurts, reviews them continuously in the person's mind. The most trivial hurt is neither forgiven nor forgotten. Whenever the attitude of bitterness is found, one may expect to find the demons of bitterness, resentment, and hatred. In some instances, the chains of spirits goes on to include other or all of the spirits in the grouping. Rebellion. Rebellion is the spirit of Antichrist, of disobedience and disrespect for authority. God has established authority in the home, church, and civil government. God Himself is our supreme authority. To assert self-will above any level of authority in God's divine order is to entertain demons of rebellion. To keep delivered in this area necessitates complete submission to all God constituted authority. Control. Control spirits are found in such cases as 1. A parent showing unnatural control over a grown child. 2. Husband or wife domineering over the other. 3. A pastor being a dictator rather than a shepherd. 4. A member of a prayer group controlling the group or others in the group. The methods of control may involve false visions, revelations, prophecies, and the like. Such control amounts to witchcraft, seeking to control another person, getting him to do what you want him to do by knowingly or unknowingly employing the power of evil spirits. The deliverance minister must also be prepared to minister to the victims of controlled spirits. Have the dominated person renounce all demonic control. Declare his release from the bondage on the basis of liberty in Christ Yasha, and adamantly refuse any further control. The freed person must learn to exercise his own will and make his own decisions. He may require personal deliverance from spirits of insecurity, inferiority, and fear. 2. Spirits of condemnation may try to persuade him, that is, hurting the other person, to whom he had such a close attachment. He may need help in being able to separate the person from the demons in the person. When this is accomplished, he can love the person but hate the demons that seek to control him. Retaliation. This group usually stems out of the root of bitterness. These spirits advocate returning evil for evil. An interesting manifestation has been observed when young children were being delivered of this type of spirit. When a parent was holding the child during the deliverance, he had seen the child pinch, bite, or hit the parent. The disposition of the child would change instantly once the demons were out. Adults are more likely to retaliate through spiteful acts or words. Rejection. The door for the spirit of rejection to enter is most frequently opened during childhood, and even while a baby is still in its mother's womb. When a child is unwanted, the fetus is opened for the entrance of a demon of rejection. I find that some persons are definitely repelled by such a suggestion. They think it terribly unfair that such a thing be possible. We must remember the devil is no gentleman, and he is not regulated by rules of fair sportsmanship. Rather, he is extremely evil and does not hesitate for a moment to take full advantage of a situation which will foster his evil purposes. Satan delights in finding an Achilles heel for a target, choosing the weakest moments in life to attack. When is a person most defenseless? Before he is given birth and during infancy. It is said of John the Baptist before he was born, "He shall be filled with the Holy Spirit, even from his mother's womb." Luke chapter 1, verse 15b. Since the Holy Spirit entered John the Baptist before birth, we did not doubt the ability of a demon spirit to enter a person before birth. An unwed mother came to me for ministry because of the circumstances of the baby's conception. She admitted that she did not want the child and had considered abortion. At the time of the ministry, she was in her 8th month of pregnancy. Several demons were cast out of the fetus, including the spirit of rejection. As the spirits were challenged, the expectant mother experienced sharp pains in the womb area of her body. These pains completely disappeared as the demons came out through the mother's mouth. The deliverance minister will do well to question all who come for ministry as to the possibility of rejection. It is extremely common and often very strong. Most children who have been adopted will have spirits of rejection. The very circumstances that necessitated the child's adoption will have provided an opening for spirits of rejection to gain entrance. Rejection will usually become a three-headed monster. In addition to the basic spirit of rejection, there will be a fear of rejection spirit and a self rejection spirit. The presence of these demons is readily evidenced through a person's inability to receive love or to give love to others. Because he has been rejected, he becomes fearful of close relationships through which he could experience further hurt. He is afraid to accept the love of others and holds himself aloof. The way is opened for fear of rejection. Self rejection comes along to add to the torment. The person who feels that he is rejected by others will decide there is something wrong with himself that makes others not like him. He turns his thoughts inward and begins to hate himself for what he is. This is self rejection. Indecision. These are mental spirits. They are quite common. A person should normally be able to weigh the factors involved and reach a decision. But these spirits can torment a person over making the smallest decision. Every decision looms as a major crisis. When he cannot decide, he postpones. Indecision has led to procrastination. The longer he weighs a matter, the more confused he becomes. In desperation or frustration, he compromises his decision and settles for less than best, or he may escape the responsibility of making a decision by forgetting. In some cases, procrastination precedes indecision and is the leading spirit. The clue to a procrastination spirit in a child is when the child is heard to say often, "in a minute." For example, a mother tells her child to clean up his room. The child replies, "In a minute, mother." He really intends to be obedient, but the spirit of forgetfulness pulls it out of his mind. When he is reminded, he will explain, "Oh, I forgot." The mother must then exercise authority. When such a decision arises repeatedly, the child may become stubborn and rebellious. Self deception. The deceived and the deceiver are his. Job chapter 12, verse 16. The Lord gave us this verse during a ministry to identify a deep problem in Mr. P. For more than 20 years, he had been self deceived in believing that he was on the verge of a great spiritual revelation concerning the Trinity. He believed this revelation would astound the entire Christian world. He demonstrated to us how he believed the revelation would come. He carefully folded a sheet of paper several ways and tore small pieces out of it. As each piece of paper was unfolded, it was seen to be a symbol or letter. He believed that one day he would be able to tear and interpret spirit-inspired symbols that would reveal once and for all the mystery of the Godhead. Self-delusion, self-seduction, and pride, companion spirits, convince him that he, an unknown, would become world renowned. His whole problem had grown out of rejection. His father, a minister, had rejected him from childhood. In an attempt to receive his father's approval and love, he was open to spirits of delusion, which convinced him not only that he would become famous, but that his fame would come through a spiritual revelation, which would win the admiration of his father. Renunciation of the delusion was not easy for Mr. P. He had great fear that he would be failing God. In such cases of self-deception, the person must be confronted with the error, and the delusion must be renounced. When a person falls out of agreement with the lies of the demons, he is able to retain his deliverance. Perfection. There is a place for organization, orderliness, and a job well done. The perfection demon makes a bandage out of these attributes. For example, a person planned his day. He has decided all that he will do and fit it into a schedule. He binds himself to that schedule. He leaves no room for variation. It is a perfect plan. He is proud that he is able to plan and perform so well. Then something or someone interferes with that plan. He grows irritable. Now, he is not able to complete his schedule. He cannot adjust to the interruption. Frustration sets in. Anger rises against the person or thing that has broken his plan. Thus, a whole set of demons is set in motion. The conflict is both inward and outward. Rejection is often behind perfection. The rejected person strives for perfection in an effort to earn respect and acceptance. In other instances, perfection is a compensation for inferiority. False burden. The devil delights in wearing out the saints. The devil, unlike God, will put more upon God's children than they are able to bear. Yeshaya declared that his yoke is easy and his burden light. A false burden is heavy to bear and is usually self assumed. Even a pious burden for souls may be satanically imposed. God has a time and a way as well as a purpose. Flowing with the Spirit takes out all the strain. Many believers need deliverance from false burdens, responsibilities, and compassions, those that are not from God. Religious error. Religious error is a broad designation embracing false religions, Christian cults, occult practices, and false doctrines. Involvement with any of these sources of error can open the door for evil spirits. The association or contact need not be extensive. Any believer who has involvement with any kind of religious error should renounce it. In most cases, deliverance is needed to free him of oppression. These religious error demons have been found to cause mental confusion, binding of the mind, dullness of comprehension, depression, fears, physical pains, physical illnesses, false pride, unteachableness, resistance to biblical truth, and spiritual hindrances to prayer, Bible reading, sermon listening, gifts of the Spirit, and faith.